What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Trains and Tech. In today's video, we're going to be going through a collection that I had the fortune of being able to take into my collection. So I was on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw this listing showcasing somebody selling their father's collection. I reached out to the gentleman, met up with him yesterday, and he very graciously gifted the collection to me to, keep alive and to use to educate. For those of you that don't know, I'm part of a local train club. We do shows at libraries and other events to show off what we have, and as well as give kids the opportunity to see what's so cool about model railroading. As mentioned, the gentleman very kindly has passed the collection on to me, and I would love to show it to you guys. I went ahead and showed y'all a few of the clips of what was included in there because there is a bit to go through. We've got 2 steam engines as well as a few buildings and accessories. Let's start tearing into it. It goes without saying, yes, there is a ton of tube track. Let's first start with some of our neater accessories. So first up, we've got this set of electric switches. I don't know if these are 022 or 027. I'm sure I could mock up some track to it and find out pretty easily. But these are both electric switches, and then we have this control panel as well. I haven't mentioned it yet, but this entire collection consists of Marx locomotives, and they are all post-war. Next up, we've got what I believe to be a whistle house. So to my understanding, you would plug this in, to my understanding, you would wire this in, and whenever activated, it would act as a whistle. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And then here is a transformer that came with the set, as well as this bottle of Marx locomotive smoke. This is an OG bottle. I think this is actually super cool. And remember, do not overload your locomotive with too much oil. Coming up next, we have this tunnel. It's like paper mache sort of tunnel. It has definitely had a few surgeries in the past. If we flip it over, bit of super glue trying to keep this bad boy together. Really cool. To my knowledge, these often struggle to stay alive. They're very fragile. This one is barely hanging in there. Might as well put it on the layout, because why not? It's not like I'm going to spend money decorating this layout. As for our last accessory, we've got this bell crossing signal. Again, looks like you just wire it up, and it's real simple. Super cool. Let's go ahead and transition into the part that I know most of y'all are waiting for, which are the locomotives themselves. Up first, we have a shell. I know, a little bit of a prank. However, I would very much appreciate more information about this from you guys. This is, again, another Marx locomotive. I only have the shell for this. He's looking to see if he can find the internals somewhere else in his attic. If you guys have more information, I would love to bring this back to life. It's really long, and it's big and black.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Going into our complete pieces, we have 2 sets. So here's the rolling stock of our first set. We have this tanker right here, Cities Service. We got this Santa Fe boxcar, this Erie flat car, and a Southern Pacific
Caboose.
The locomotive that headed this set, I just knocked the tender off the table. We have this 242 locomotive 666. That's a little Erie. This thing's pretty heavy. And it's surprisingly large and detailed for a 242. This, compared to my Lionel 242, is slightly longer, but I would say almost double the weight. This plastic 242 is really nothing against this metal one. This one is sturdy. One thing I really like about this locomotive is it's very, very, very detailed. It has, of course, a bell at the front, or at least what resembles a bell. It has what appears to be a whistle right there. It has our metal railing along the edge. Overall, this thing is super sturdy. Here's a look underneath. We have this interesting style of pickup, which is not a roller. As for our cab detail, it is non-existent. Our tender is not bringing too much more to the conversation. This is not a whistle tender or has like any other function. It is very light. It is plastic as well. And we are repping the Southern Pacific lines. Most people know Marx for their cheaper tin trains. Our following set is no different. We'll start with our rolling stock. We've got this New York caboose, this sick shell tanker that's unfortunately missing a wheel, Baltimore and Ohio gondola, and another New York boxcar. Finally, finishing us off, we have another 242. Shocker, because it appears the only trains I can find on this channel are 242s. So yet another similar idea. The front trucks are a little bit different. It has like this interesting mechanism. Looks like early American Flyer, but obviously this is a Mark's train. Cab number 999. Also see that on the front right there. Again, pretty decent detailing. We do have a bell up here, which is nice. The bell is a different material. And we've got our tin tender. It says New York Central. You can obviously read. Finally, we've got one more piece of rolling stock. So I don't recall Mark's making this caboose with their later style coupler. So it leads me to believe that this is potentially a custom job. It's also the only piece in here that doesn't like belong to a set. And I've got 4 pieces of rolling stock that go to one train, and then I've got 4 pieces of rolling stock that go to another. This is just in here, and it has a type of coupler that neither set in here uses. For reference, here's the same style caboose that I have, just in slightly better condition. And as you see, this is the connector that I have. Looks rather different than this one. Let me know in the comments, is this a custom job? The last thing I want to show you guys before we put these on the track is this, what I believe to be an original piece of the OG box that this came with. It looks like it's the sticker for the order. Marks and Company on it, and it even says what type of train set was ordered. Super cool. With that being said, let's throw these on the track and see if they run off rip. Now, just a disclaimer, I am going to go ahead and put a little bit of grease and oil on these. I don't want to run these completely dry and risk damaging or warping the teeth of the gears. You know, I'm not a madman. So up first we have number 999. And one thing I'm noticing is we've got a little bit of a gangsta lean. We're tilted just a little bit like that. That's okay. I'm sure it'll run. All right, moment of truth. Hey, I would say it's pretty good. Considering we did 0 cleaning, quite a bit of sparking. We definitely need to clean up our contacts. Looks like the reverse unit is a little questionable, so we'll try to free that up a little bit. But overall, it's pretty solid. Finally, we have our other 242 on the track. I've just been cursed with this very interesting spell where I can only find 242s. With the addition of the 2 that we got today, that brings me up to 5 242s. Moment of truth. It's even smoking. It was even smoking, and it was smoking for good reasons, because it's supposed to. Ho, ho, ho. Quite a bit of spark, but we've still got smoke in the smoke unit. Look at that. That is awesome. Quite a bit of cleaning up needs to be done on the wheels. I don't want to burn up my brand new track. But that is really promising to see. Let's go ahead and tear into these locomotives. Everyone curious, those are some pretty solid burn marks, and it smells just about as you would imagine in here right now. It smells pretty rough. Because we do have 2 locomotives that we're taking apart today, I'm not going to show every single individual step I do. Rather, I'll show some highlights or potentially lowlights from taking these apart and servicing them. For example, watch this. Hold up. Before I do the cool snap transition, what is that? Can I pull that out? Are you structural? Are you part of... Dog, what? What? Anyways, epic snap transition. Look at that. It's like magic. Quite a bit of soldering there on the old light bulb. I take it that this is our E unit right here, which is interesting that the E unit is in front of the motor. Well, here's our commutator. Doesn't look that bad. A little cleaning will help. Yeah, I'd say that looks a lot better. Drop of oil for the shaft. Just like that, we've got our brushes back in. Nothing really to clean up here. We just wanted to get some really basic servicing in. Again, y'all, I cannot reiterate it enough. I'm very thankful for all the support y'all have been giving the channel recently. We're almost at 400 subscribers at the time of recording this. It's crazy how in just a few weeks we've grown like 8-fold. Just going to spray this like douse this with electrical contact cleaner and wiggle that a bunch. And so far, that's fixed every unit I've had issues with. This has to be one of my most hob job repairs that I always do, but it just seems to work. Next up, we noticed a lot of sparks when this was trying to run. So we're going to go ahead and clean up our wheels, and especially look at this tender. It's rusty. It's rust. It's no good. This may take a second, but what I'm going to use to do this is this piece of track cleaner. It's like almost feels like an eraser, and I'm just going to methodically go in and clean these bad boys up. Look at the difference just that made. So this will take a second, and I'm not going to record it. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. Look at what just a few minutes of scrubbing has done so far. That's crazy. It's a huge difference. After quite a bit of elbow grease, here are our drivers all freshened up, and here are our tender pickups also nice and clean. Took a bit of time, but that's all right. I'm sure that'll really help with the sparking. Now let's put this all back together. All right, locomotive 999 is all wrapped up. Let's move into number 666. As we saw with this one, the smoke unit was still working. So I'm really stoked to get this one running well. It's probably going to need the exact same thing. It's probably going to need a lot of cleaning on the wheels and whatever. It just is what it is. Let's get it apart. And just like that, we have our motor somewhat out. We've got this piece soldered on. Sick. All right, our motor is now free from the shell. Let's get this brush plate off. Whoa, switching it up. This time it's Phillips. I was about to say these are almost the exact same motor, but there's some slight differences. Let's take a look at our motor here. Yeah, I don't really like some of what I'm seeing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't like how fresh that is right there. I guess I could check the insulation, see if there's any grounds, but I'm just looking it over for anything that looks alarming. I guess maybe it was getting slightly hot, and that's why we have this discoloration here. The train was running, so I'm not going to stress about it too much. I am, however, going to clean this up. All right, that's nice and cleaned up. Some of these darker spots just aren't coming out. It looks like there are quite a few miles on this, which is interesting because the shell appears so clean, but this commutator is ran through, to say the least. Sweet. Now let's clean up our brush plate. I usually just take some paper towel and I'll literally rub it off. All right, let's see our spring tension. All right, that sucks. That one's better. I like just mess, like at this point, like I just take it and I just keep going like this until it just frees up a little bit. What you're looking for is you want it to, have a nice healthy pushback, a nice healthy release. This one's so much better just off that little bit of work. I put a drop of oil right there, and then I'm going to put one on the inside of this bearing.
Sup, y'all? This is Trains and Tech in post. My microphone died here. Just to fill y'all in on what's happening, I put the motor back together, and then I'm going to go ahead and sand down the wheels to help fix some of that sparking we saw on the track.
Here's the locomotive. Look at those fresh and clean wheels. And then our tender really didn't need a lot of work. I just put some oil to help it roll a little bit better. So if I recall correctly, smoke unit seems to be working. I think it just needs more smoke fluid. Other than that, I really think this just needs some greasing and oiling, and then it'll be ready to go. Sweet, now everybody should be happy. And just because I want to not have to take this apart again, I am going to just do a little bit of touching up on the E-unit. For my E-units, all I do is I just douse that bad boy with some electronics cleaner. I just wiggle the lever a whole bunch and hope that it fixes it and I'll never have to deal with it again. It is a very professional fix. The smoke unit, as we recall, no issues. So let's just put this back together. Over here at Trains and Tech, we do not own any wire cutters or strippers for that matter. The way that I solder on YouTube, you'd think I've never soldered before. I mean, holy cannoli. This is just a train wreck. Yeah, look at that. Pro skills, huh? Awesome. That slid in super easy. Let's get our screws on. 666 is back together. Let's put both of our locomotives on the rails. Do y'all really think I forget about our awesome decor? Obviously, decor is my favorite part of the hobby. Is that Gerard? Our super lit crossing bell. We'll just put that bad boy right there. We've got 666 already hanging out over there. Let's get 999 on the rails as well. We've got both of our locomotives on the rail. Let's see if we can get them to run for probably the first time in 50 or so years. Knocked that one off the rails. It was almost perfect. It was almost perfect. Let's give that another shot. Let's get some rolling stock on them. So normally I wouldn't do this, but because I want to show off both of these as sets, this is the shell tanker that came with this lot. As you notice, it is missing this wheel. I do have a perfect replacement in my collection that just to run this train and showcase both of these OG Mark sets, I am going to run this car. Don't worry, at some point I'll fix it if I have some replacement parts. I thought about swapping this one out, but this will be in a video in around a week or two, so don't want to do that. With that, let's see both of these sets run for the first time in 50 years. Wait, I think I'm forgetting one thing. I've got to put in some of my original Mark's locomotive smoke, right? Does this expire? I don't know. Well, I had to improvise. We're using some of our Bachmann smoke fluid. Now for it all together. It's really awesome to see these trains run again after probably 50 years. I mean, that smoke unit on 666 is just killing it right now. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned because I've got big stuff coming in the next few weeks. I've got some crazy trains that I just know you guys are going to love. I'll catch y'all in the next one.